Lesson 5, how to practice. So practicing is about quality, not quantity. You should be practicing the right things all the time, not the wrong things. So the way to do this is by starting to play the exercise 4 times perfectly, and perfectly is key here, at the fastest tempo you can reach. So you'll be able to do it once, eventually, and your brain will get a reward. It'll say, I got it. And then keep practicing, and you'll be able to practice it twice round in a loop. And your brain will get 2 rewards. Two rewards. And you keep going, and you'll fail, and you'll fail, and you'll fail. And then eventually you'll be able to practice it 3 times, and keep doing this at the fastest tempo you can possibly do it perfectly. And eventually you'll be able to do it 4 times, and your brain will get 4 rewards. And what you're doing here is you're programming your brain and your hand to work together. When the hand sends a signal to the brain, I got it right. This reward thing is something that you want to keep getting because you've got it right. And it's a slight feeling of elation. So keep doing that, and then repeatedly practice it 4 times, take a gap. 4 times, take a gap. Do it to the metronome. Doodly diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly do. Doodly diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly do. Diddly 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 diddly, and keep doing that. And once you've achieved that, maybe 8 times in a row, then I want you to start trying to up the length of time you can do that for. So the aim is to start with maybe 8 times and then start timing yourself. So go for 10 seconds, then push yourself to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds, and a minute. So by the time you're doing this for a minute, you'll feel that doing 4 or 8 repetitions is pretty easy. So move your tempo up to the point that you're playing it perfectly at your fastest tempo, and go for 4 repetitions, and then go for 8 repetitions, then repeat. You go for 10 seconds, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds of doing the same exercise round and round and round again. Now, when you get to the point where you're playing for 60 seconds, 1 minute, you'll probably start to feel a slight burn happening in the wrist. That's the burn that we were talking about. That burn is building up your wrist muscles. It's kind of like a bodybuilder when they're pumping weights. The muscles get stronger, and that is exactly what you're doing in your wrist here. You're training this muscle to flex and do things it normally shouldn't be able to do. So you're bodybuilding for your wrist. And so that's the process, and you just keep doing that. So once you've achieved your next highest tempo at 1 minute, then move up your repetitions to 4 times, 8 times, and then start building up for 1 minute, and keep going and keep going. Now, the level you should be able to get to be a competent alternate picker, I would say, would be repetitions of triplets at around about 100 to 105 beats a minute for 1 minute repetitions. Once you've got there, you should be a reasonably proficient alternate picker. And by the way, you need to do this across all the exercises that I've shown you, and also all over the fretboard. It doesn't matter what finger positions you use. You can use 3 fingers and do it almost chromatically if you want, or you can use wider stretches if you want to strengthen your hand whilst you're practicing. So it's important that you do it all over the fretboard. You just increase the metronome and increase the metronome. Once you get into super tempos, we're talking about being able to do reps at probably 110 beats a minute for 3 minutes. And that's around about the top level of where I get to for these repetitions. And at that point, I'm probably able to play triplets on a normal day, 140 beats a minute. On a good day, 150 beats a minute. So this is how you increase your speed, as you do it gradually and gradually and gradually. If you feel any kind of pain anywhere, stop immediately. It only stands to reason that the faster you go, the less amount of reps you're going to be able to do. That's just the way it is. So, for instance, if I've been talking about being able to play 150 BPM on triplets, which is extraordinarily fast. If I'm able to do that, doing 4 of them is a push. So it's pretty unmusical. Usually 3 times round something, people start to get bored. So the reason I say 4 is that you've over practiced it, so that when you come to do it in performance, it's less than you're capable of doing. But the faster you get, obviously the less repetitions you're able to do, and that's just the nature of it. Just after the G3 tour, I really got into my technique, and I got it to a really high level at that point. And the key to it was an album that I bought years ago that I used to listen to quite a lot and just jam along to, was Prince, and who I absolutely love. And it was a track called Sexy MF, and it's 105 BPM. And so I just started, my hand's really sticky with the sweat, so it's going to stick on the guitar. It might take a wee while to get this going, but so I could do this all day. And so that's what I found, is I could do it in the low strings, I could do it in the high strings, and I was like, oh, I wonder how long I can do that for. So I put the track on, and I played right the way through the track. I thought, wow, I can. It's slow, but I'm amazed that I could get the stamina to do it. And my wrist burnt a little bit, right in between there, where it all happens, which we'll talk about later. And so I started doing that regularly, and I realised that my upper tempos were going up and up and up, because what was happening is I was sending all the positive messages to my brain. This is the right thing, this is the right thing. And basically training my hand to do the right thing, even though it was a slow tempo. And it does feel different when you go into high tempos. If you do repeats and repeats and repeats, you start to get that burn that you get when you get to high tempos as well. And that burn is what you're looking for. That's when your wrist gets turbocharged. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe!